The rain hammered the windows of our cramped Brooklyn apartment like it was trying to break in, mirroring the storm raging inside me. I stared at the doctor's note on my phone, stage 3 lymphoma, the words blurring through hot tears, and whispered, "Jack, it's cancer," my voice cracking like cheap glass. He didn't even look up from his laptop, just muttered, "Not now, Paul. I've got this pitch due," as if my world crumbling was just another Tuesday interruption. That was the moment everything shattered. But to understand the wreckage, you have to go back to how we built it all. 3 years earlier, I'd stumbled into Jack's life at a dive bar in Williamsburg, the kind of place where the beer was warm and the dreams were colder. I was 25, fresh out of a dead-end graphic design gig in Ohio, chasing that elusive New York spark. Paul Hargrove, lanky, with messy brown hair that never stayed put and eyes that my mom always said held too much hope. I'd moved here for the art scene, but mostly to escape the suffocating small-town whispers about the gay kid who drew too pretty. Jack was the opposite, polished, ambitious, the guy who turned heads without trying. 28, with sharp jawline, dark hair slicked back just so, and a smile that could sell ice to penguins. He worked in tech startups, the Silicon Alley hustler type, always in slim-fit button-downs that hugged his athletic frame from weekend soccer leagues. We locked eyes across the bar when I was nursing a cheap IPA, sketching strangers on a napkin. He slid onto the stool next to me, peering over my shoulder. "That's me, but better." "You an artist or a stalker?" I laughed, nerves buzzing like live wires. "Artist, Paul." "And you're?" "Jack Riley. The guy who's buying you a drink." Just like that, he did. We talked for hours about his latest app idea for matching queer creatives, my half-baked dreams of illustrating children's books with diverse heroes. He was magnetic, quoting Whitman 1 minute, roasting bad Tinder dates the next. By closing time, we were stumbling out into the humid July night, his hand brushing mine accidentally until it wasn't. Our first kiss happened under the glow of a bodega sign, all sloppy and urgent, tasting like hops and possibility. "Your trouble?" I gasped when we broke apart. He grinned, pulling me closer. "The best kind." We ended up back at his place, a sleek loft in Bushwick he'd sublet from some venture capitalist buddy, making love on sheets that smelled like his cologne, a mix of cedar and ambition. It was raw, electric, his hands mapping my body like he was claiming territory. Afterward, tangled in limbs and whispers, he said, "This could be something real, Paul. Stay." I did. Hell, I never left. We blended lives fast. My crappy sketches taped to his minimalist walls, his protein shakes cluttering my side of the fridge. Mornings were coffee runs to the corner cafe, where he'd steal bites of my bagel and I'd tease him about his bro playlists. Evenings, we'd cook, badly, pasta that always stuck to the pot, laughing until our sides hurt. He pushed me to freelance, landing me a gig designing logos for queer nonprofits. "You've got talent, babe. Don't hide it." And God, I believed him. Jack made me feel seen, like the world wasn't just a grind but a canvas we could paint together. But cracks showed early, if I'd bothered to look. Jack's phone buzzed constantly. Investors, networking drinks that ran late. He'd come home wired, pacing about funding rounds, his eyes distant. "It's the hustle, Paul. This city's eat or be eaten." I'd nod, massaging his shoulders, ignoring the twinge when he'd brush off my insecurities. "You're overthinking. We're solid." Were we? Sex kept us glued. Intense, exploratory nights where he'd pin me down, whispering filth that made me blush and beg. But mornings after, he'd scroll emails while I lingered in bed, tracing the tattoos on his back. A compass rose for direction, an anchor for stability. Irony, right? By year 1, we were official. He met my ragtag friends at a pride afterparty in the village. Drag queens and baristas cheering as we slow danced to Chapel Roan under rainbow lights. My sister, visiting from Ohio, pulled me aside. "He's intense, Paul. Make sure he's in it for you, not the story." I waved her off. Jack was all in. Surprise weekend in the Catskills. Hiking trails where he'd hoist me over streams, declaring, "You're my adventure." We talked future. A bigger place in Queens. Maybe adopting a dog. Kids? Not. But a scruffy mutt named Whiskey? Hell yes. His laugh echoed off the pines. And I fell harder, convinced we'd outrun the city's cynicism. Year 2 brought the grind. Jack's startup pivoted, some AI dating thing for LGBTQ+ folks, and he dove in headfirst, 70-hour weeks blurring into all-nighters. I'd wait up with takeout, only for him to crash beside me, murmuring apologies in his sleep. "Love you," he'd mumble, and I'd hold him, ignoring the growing distance. My career picked up. I illustrated a picture book about 2 boys falling in love at summer camp, dedicated obliquely to him. Launch party at a Soho bookstore. He showed late. Askew. But his toast, to Paul, who colors my world, had the crowd on G. Later, in the alley behind, he fucked me against the brick wall, urgent and possessive. "You're mine," he growled. I came undone, whispering back, "Always," but doubts crept in like fog off the East River. His mentors, older, suited guys from the tech scene, lingered too long at dinners, eyes appraising. Jack brushed it off. "Networking, babe. Jealousy's ugly." And me, I swallowed it, focusing on us. We had rituals. Sunday brunches at that hole-in-the-wall diner on Bedford, where he'd steal my home fries and I'd steal his stories about growing up Catholic in Boston, hiding crushes on the quarterback. Coming out was hell, but look at me now, free, his hand over mine, thumb stroking knuckles. Moments like that, pure gold. Then, the fatigue hit. Subtle at first, naps I'd blame on late nights editing. Swollen nodes in my neck I dismissed as allergies. Jack noticed. In his way, "You look peaked, Paul. Hit the gym with me." I tried, but runs along the promenade left me winded. Vision spotting. "Stress," we agreed. Until the cough started, dry and insistent, waking me at dawn. Jack, half asleep, rolled over. "Water," I nodded, but inside, fear coiled like a snake. That rain-lashed Tuesday in October, it struck. I'd gone for the biopsy alone, Jack in a meeting, staring at subway ads for life insurance while my mind screamed worst cases. The call came mid-afternoon, me sketching at our kitchen table, charcoal smudging my fingers. "Dr. Ramirez's voice, calm, clinical. "Paul, it's Hodgkin's lymphoma. We'll need to start treatment immediately." The phone slipped. I caught it, dialing Jack on autopilot. He answered on the 3rd ring, background chatter of a conference call. "Babe, everything okay? It's cancer." "Jack." The words hung, heavy as lead. Silence stretched, broken only by rain and my ragged breaths. Then, his sigh, not relief, but exasperation. Shit. Paul, I'm swamped. Can we talk later? Like, after the pitch. Later, my chest caved. Jack. This is. Not now. Seriously. Click. He hung up. I sat there, phone dead in my hand, the city roaring indifferent outside. Cancer. What now? That night, he came home late, tie loosened, smelling of bourbon-laced schmoozing. I was curled on the couch, tea gone cold, the diagnosis printout on the coffee table like an accusation. He paused in the doorway, eyes flicking to it. Hey, one word, flat as pavement. I stood, legs shaky. Jack, we need to. He held up a hand, dropping his bag. I know. Cancer. Fuck. He raked fingers through his hair, pacing to the window. Rain streaked the glass, blurring the skyline. This changes everything. Changes. My voice rose, cracking. I'm still me. We're still us. He turned, face shadowed. Paul, think about it. Chemo, hospitals, it's a black hole. My funding rounds next month. Investors don't back drama. Drama? I reeled, like he'd slapped me. You're saying. What? That this is too much for you. He met my eyes, jaw tight. I'm saying I can't watch you fade. It'd kill me. And the company, it's my shot. Our shot. You get that, right? Our shot. Laughter bubbled, bitter. Jack, I've supported you through every crash, every all-nighter. And now it's real, he snapped, voice echoing off bare walls. You think I want this? Waking up to needles and nausea? I built this life us on momentum. You dying slow? It stops at cold. Dying. The word landed like a gut punch. I gasped, clutching the couch arm. So what? Then, you walk. He looked away, out at the storm. Maybe space. You go to your folks in Ohio. Get treatment there. Clean break. I handle things here. Clean break. Tears burned hot. 3 years. Jack. That's it? Die far away? His shoulders slumped, but his voice stayed steel. It's mercy, Paul. For both of us. Don't make it ugly. Mercy. Ugly. The room spun. I grabbed my jacket, bolting for the door before he could see me break. Rain swallowed me whole as I ran, downstairs, into streets slick with neon. 3 years. Evaporated. Cancer wasn't the killer. Indifference was. Blocks blurred past. Brownstones bleeding into Ticarius. The pulse of Brooklyn a mocking heartbeat against my own faltering one. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Jack. Probably a half-assed sorry text. I yanked it out, screen cracking against the wet pavement as I hurled it into a puddle. Fuck him. Fuck this city that promised reinvention but delivered ruin. I ended up at the East River, collapsing onto a bench under the Williamsburg Bridge, the water churning black below like my thoughts. How had we gotten here? Rewind to that first winter. Snow blanketing the rooftops like powdered sugar on a bitter pill. We'd hunkered down in the apartment, fairy lights strung haphazardly, blasting Frank Ocean while baking cookies that burned to charcoal. Jack, flour-dusted and grinning, had smeared icing on my nose. My little snowflake, we'd made love by the radiator, slow and tender, his breath warm against my neck. "Marry me someday?" he'd murmured, half joking. I'd frozen, heart soaring. In a heartbeat, but ambition was his god, and I was the acolyte, tending altars of takeout and encouragement. Year 2 spring brought his big break, a seed round from some VC firm in Midtown. Celebration at Lou Bernardine. Fancy as hell, me in a borrowed blazer that pinched. He toasted with champagne flutes. To us, Paul. To building empires. His foot hooked mine under the table, a secret anchor. Later, in a cab home, his hand up my thigh, whispering, "You're my foundation, foundation." Ah. By summer, the office space in Flatiron swallowed him. I'd visit late, bringing burritos, finding him hunched over whiteboards scrawled with user flows. "Babe, you're a lifesaver." A quick kiss, then back to code. I filled voids with my own work, book tours in indie shops, panels on queer rep in lit. Success tasted sweet, but lonely. Friends noticed. At a gallery opening in Chelsea, my buddy Theo clapped my shoulder. "Jack's a rocket, man. Hope you're strapped in." I was until the straps chafed. Arguments simmered. "You promised date night." I'd yell after another cancellation. He'd fire back. "This is for us, Paul." Stability. Make-up sex was fire. Him bending me over the desk. Apologies growled into my skin. "I love you. Don't doubt." I didn't. Couldn't. Not when he'd surprise me with tickets to Hamilton, holding my hand through the tears, or trace lazy circles on my back during movie marathons, quoting lines from Call Me by Your Name like prophecy. Fall brought the cough's shadow. Doctor visits I hid migraines. Just a virus. Jack was too buried in beta tests to notice my pallor. Until Thanksgiving, when I collapsed carving turkey at his parents' in Connecticut. The drive back was silent, his knuckles white on the wheel. "Paul, what's going on?" In the ER glow, tests spun out, blood work, scans. He held my hand through the foreprick, face ashen. "We're fighters. Right? Right." Discharge papers in hand. We vowed teamwork. But his support was sporadic, stocking ginger ale for nausea that hadn't hit yet, then vanishing for strategy sessions. I journaled fears in a battered notebook. What if this steals me? What if it steals us? Jack found it once, leafing through absently. Heavy shit. Talk to me. But when I did, night spilling guts over whiskey, he'd glaze over. "We'll beat it." Now, about the launch party. The launch. His app, QueerLink, dropped in early winter, a hit. Downloads spiking. Press in The Advocate calling it revolutionary. Launch bash at a rooftop in the meatpacking district. Influencers. Champagne towers. Jack center stage. Magnetic in a velvet jacket. I hovered on the edges. Chemo port itching under my shirt. First round a week prior. Hellish haze of fatigue. He pulled me up for photos. Arms slung possessive. "My rock," he murmured to the crowd. Cameras flashed. I smiled brittle. After, in the hotel suite they'd comped. He was electric, fucking me with champagne-fueled frenzy. Bites marking my collarbone. "You're incredible," he panted, collapsing spent. I lay awake after, his snores soft, tracing the port scar. His rock felt more like quicksand. Betrayal brewed slow. Whispers from mutuals. Jack at after-parties. Cozy with a developer named Ryan, blonde, buff, the type who posted shirtless gym selfies. I confronted lightly over brunch. Heard you and Ryan are thick as thieves. Jack laughed it off, fork spearing eggs. Jealous? It's business. Babe. Ryan's straight. Anyway, married. Lie? Maybe. But doubt festered like the bruises from needles. By spring, my hair thinning, weight dropping, cracks widened. Jack's touches turned perfunctory. Pecks instead of devours. Later for intimacy. I'd catch him staring at my reflection, pity flickering before shutters dropped. You okay? I'd ask. Fine. Just worried. Worried enough to book me a flight to Ohio? Family support, he said one night, over lukewarm pad thai. Mom's a nurse. They can handle the day-to-days. I'll visit. Like a vacation. Rage boiled. I'm not baggage. Jack, this is our fight. His fork clattered. It is, but I can't. Christ. Paul. The mirrors. Your eyes hollowing out. It's killing me slow. Tears in his eyes. First I'd seen. I softened. Reaching. Then fight with me. Here. He pulled away. I can't. The company's exploding Series A talks. If I tank now, excuses, layered like onion skin. Underneath fear. Self-preservation in a suit. The blow came post-second scan, remission tease, but aggressive. I called from the infusion center, high on pre-meds. Good news. Maybe. Come celebrate. He was at a gala, voice muffled by clinking glasses. Can't bail. Rain check on hope. That night, home alone, I scrolled his Insta careless me. Stories him, arm around Ryan at some lounge. Captions closing deals. Ryan, not so straight, hand lingering low. Heart in throat. I waited. He stumbled in at 2 a.m., reeking of gin. Paul, you're up. Who's Ryan? Really? Quiet? Steele. He froze, then deflated. A friend. Nothing. Bullshit. Screenshots shook in my hand. While I'm puking my guts. You're flirting. Okay. Harmless. Defiant now. You think this is easy? Watching you waste. Waste. I lunged, shoving his chest. I'm fighting. You coward. He shoved back. Not hard, but enough. And I'm surviving. You want me to drop everything? Play nurse? Ruin my life too. Your life, echoed hollow. What about ours? Ours died with the C word. Venomous. Spat. Room iced. I packed that dawn. A duffel of essentials, leaving his hoodies on the bed like ghosts. Go to Ohio, he called as I reached the door. Die far from here. Don't drag me down. Door slammed. Echoed forever. River wind whipped tears dry. Phone dead. I hailed a cab to Theo's in Queens, crash pad. At least. He opened the door in boxers, eyes widening. Paul? Jesus. What? Jack's done. Choked out. Theo pulled me in. No questions. Couch that night, staring at cracks in the ceiling, cancer and heartbreak twin tumors. Dawn broke gray. I texted Mom. Coming home. Need you. But New York clung, roots or chains. Chemo round 3 loomed. Flights waited. Jack's final text. Retrieved from a payphone. Sorry. Meant it for your good. Take care. Delete. Block. Gone. Ohio bound. But soul stayed. Bleeding on Brooklyn pavement. The Greyhound to Cleveland rumbled like a coffin on wheels, each pothole jolting memories loose. I pressed my forehead to the grimy window, watching Manhattan's spires fade into Jersey sprawl. Goodbye to the skyline that once whispered promises. Mom met me at the station, her hug bone-crushing, eyes red-rimmed but fierce. "My boy. We're in this." Dad hovered, awkward bear of a man, clapping my back. "Strong as oak, Paul." Home was the same ranch house in Akron suburbs, faded flag on the porch, my old room untouched, posters of Basquiat yellowing on walls. Safety net, or cage, treatment ramped, chemo at the local clinic, a squat brick building smelling of bleach and despair. Needles bit familiar now, poison dripping slow while I sketched patients' faces, lined with quiet wars. Mom drove me weekly, blasting show tunes to drown the nausea. Wicked on repeat, defying gravity. Fitting anthem for a kid who'd flown too close to the sun. Jack haunted edges, dreams of his laugh, his scent on phantom sheets. I'd wake sweating, hand empty. Letters came, care of Theo, freelance checks from New York gigs, a lifeline. Emails from friends, he's a prick. You're gold. But silence from Jack, a void screaming louder than words. I wrote once, unsent, in my journal, "You broke us, but I'll rebuild. Without you." Burned it in the backyard fire pit, ashes scattering like confetti for fools. Summer sweltered, hair gone. I rocked beanies and bravado. Joined a support group at the Y, misfits swapping war stories over weak coffee. There was Elena, breast cancer vet, cracking jokes about wigs. Marcus, a burly ex-trucker with prostate, quoting Maya Angelou like scripture. "Still I rise," he'd boom, fist pumping. Me, I shared sketches, turning our scars into superheroes. Laughter healed a fraction, reminded me life's not just loss. Remission flickered mid-July, scans cleanish, docs cautious optimistic. Beating it, Paul, fist bump from DR. Sing, her sari a splash of color in sterile white. Party at home, barbecue with neighbors, aunts pressing pierogies. I danced with cousins to old Springsteen, feeling almost whole. Text from Theo, queer links blowing up. Jack's it boy, saw him at Pride solo. Solo. Stung, but faded like old ink. Fall brought temptation. Invite to a lit fest in Chicago. My book sequel launching. Go, Mom urged. Fly, baby. Train ride west. Heart pounding, first big trip sans Jack. Hotel room overlooked the lake. Waves like silver veins. Reading that night. Voice steady. Crowd rapt as I read about two lovers. One fading, the other fleeing. Applause thundered. Q&A turned therapy. Write your pain, a fan said. I did pen to napkin. Raw lines about betrayal's blade. Post-event haze. Bar crawl with authors. Queer contingent thick. Flirtations flickered. A poet with dimples. Buying rounds. But when his hand grazed mine, Jack's ghost recoiled me. Not yet, I muttered, fleeing to the pier. Wind off Michigan whipped sharp. I screamed into it, rage and grief purging. Fuck you, Jack Riley, for stealing my yes. Back in Akron, momentum built. Illustrated a cancer graphic novel, Shadows and Sparks, self-pubbed, sales trickling from online buzz. Group therapy evolved. Marcus mentored me on resilience. Elena on Joy's quiet rebellions. Love again, she said. But love yourself first. Sage words, etched deep. Winter bit, snow muffled the ache. Holiday cards from New York, Theo's glitter bomb, friends cheer. None from him. I baked gingerbread men, beheading them with frosting grins. Mom caught me laughing, healing, nodded. Cracking, maybe. Spring thaw mirrored mine, third scan, full remission. Docs high-fived, warrior status. Party this time, bonfire in the yard. Stars pricking velvet sky. Drunk on cheap wine, I called Theo. Tell me about him, voice slurred, needy. Theo sighed. Jack ghosted everyone. Apps valued at millions, but he's hollow. Hooked up with that Ryan dude, but it's messy. Breakups, fights. Karma, karma. Sweet, but hollow victory. Miss him, Theo probed. Parts. Not the end. Hung up, flames dancing reflections on my skin. Missed the boy who'd seen my art before I did. Not the man who'd discarded me. June bloomed reckless. Invite to NYC for a queer art collective exhibit. My pieces, Cancer Chronicles. Lovers lost, accepted. Mom hugged fierce. Go reclaim it. Flight anxiety gnawed. Landing at LaGuardia. Cities hum assaulted. Taxis honking. Steam rising from grates. Theo scooped me. Bear hug in arrivals. Look at you, bald and badass. Gallery night in Dumbo. Warehouse space. Exposed brick. My canvases glowing under spots. Crowd milled, critics. Collectors. Queers in glitter. I mingled. Champagne fizzing nerves. Then, across the room, Jack. Suited sharp. Arm linked with a suited older man. Investor? Eyes locked. Air thickened. He approached slow, like waiting molasses. Paul, voice rough, eyes tracing my shaved head, fuller cheeks. Heard about the remission. Congrats. Thanks. Cool. Clipped. Heart-hammered trader. Your work. Stunning. Raw. Nodded at a piece, me. Skeletal. Reaching for a fleeing shadow labeled fear. Therapy, I said. Helps. Pause. Loaded. I've been following. The book. The novel. Proud. Proud. Laugh barked. Save it. How's Ryan? Flinch. Over. Messy. App's a beast. But. Trailed. Gaze dropping. I fucked up. Paul. Bad. Ya think. Venom sweet. But under. Pulsed. He stepped closer. Cologne stirring ghosts. Can we talk? Coffee? Hesitated. Theo's warning glance from afar. 5 minutes. Outside. Alley reeked of dumpster and rain-fresh pavement. He lit a smoke, new habit, exhaling shaky. That night. Panicked. The life I built, it was fragile. You getting sick? It cracked the facade. Facade, echoed. We were real. Jack. Were. Bitter twist. I was scared of losing you. Yeah. But of failing. Investors sniffing weakness. Gone. So I pushed you away. Cruelest mercy. Mercy my ass. You broke me. I know. Eyes wet. Therapy now after Ryan blew up. Called me out. You're running from love. Not building it. Hit hard. Therapy. Progress. Scoffed. Too late. Maybe. Reached. Tentative, I jerked back. But I see you now stronger. Without me. Damn right. Chin lifted. I rebuilt. Alone. Silence stretched. Bridge traffic humming distant. He stubbed the cig. I'm sorry, Paul. Truly. For the perfect life bullshit. You deserved better. Did. Past tense stung. Goodbye, Jack. Walked away. Gallery lights beckoning. Inside. Applause for another's piece. I slipped to my wall, tracing brushstrokes. Theo sidled up. You good. Better. Smile genuine. Night blurred into toasts. Numbers exchanged. Flirty barista. Intriguing curator. No dives. But sparks. Dawn cab to JFK. City shrinking below. Holy mine now not haunted. Ohio summers dragged sticky. But that July, I bloomed defiant. Remission held. I dove into shadows and sparks revisions, inking panels of fractured hearts mending jagged. Mom's garden became studio, hammock strung between oaks, sketchpad balanced on knees. Neighbors dropped pies, tales, saw your book at the library, small victories, stacking like bricks in a new wall. Theo visited, road trip from New York. U-Haul of my stuff reclaimed from the apartment. Jack had packed it, note tucked in, yours. With regrets. Jay tossed it unread. We drove the Hudson Valley, wine tasting in sauntering vineyards, him spilling tea, Jack spiraling. Board pressure, hookups rebounding nowhere. Thinks you're the one that got away. Let him. Wind through open windows. Freedom's rush. I'm chasing my own. Back home. Elena from group pushed. Date. Paul. Life's too short for ghosts. App swiped. Cautious. Profiles blurring into sameness. Coffee with a teacher. Nice but sparks flat. Then. August farmer's market. Bumped carts with Nate. 31. Local potter. Clay-flecked hands. Easy grin. Hazel eyes crinkling laugh lines. Sorry, zucchini avalanche. Banter flowed. His mugs at my readings. My illustrations on his Etsy. Walked me to my car. Number scrawled on a receipt. Rain check on that coffee? First date. Diner booth. Milkshakes thick. He listened, really listened to cancer tales. No pity glaze. Shared his. Coming out at 20. Family fracture mended slow. Queer in the Rust Belt? It's a quiet revolution. Touch tentative, fingers brushing over fries. Home by 10. Porch light kiss soft. Promising. Nate unfolded gentle. Weekends at his studio, throwing pots while I drew. Clay scent mixing with summer rain. Sex came natural, his place. Loft over the garage. Bodies learning rhythms unhurried. No frenzy, but depth, his mouth mapping scars. Whispering. Beautiful. Mornings. Coffee black. Porches shared. You're healing me too, he said once. Thumb tracing my jaw. Old wounds. Nodded. Bad breakup. But that's old news. We built slow. Bonfires with Esmores charred. Hikes in Cuyahoga Valley where he'd hoist me over logs. Laughing. My city boys gone soft. Teased back. Your fault. Too much pampering. Friends met, his bowling league crew. Rowdy and welcoming. My group. Elena grilling. Treat him right. Or else. He did. Surprise sketchbooks. Clay figurines of us as superheroes. Fall-colored leaves fire. My exhibit toured Chicago again. Then Boston. Nate tagged along to the latter, holding my hand through nerves. Gallery buzz, sales, reviews calling it visceral humanism. Post-show dinner, candlelit Italian, he raised glass. To you, Paul. Artist, survivor, heart stealer, kiss after, deep in the harbor fog, felt like anchor. But ghost stirred. November scan, blip, cells lurking. Manageable, Dr. Singh assured. Targeted therapy, outpatient. Told Nate over pie at the diner. He paled, then gripped my hand. We're in it. All the way, no flinch, no fade. Contrast to Jack's flight seared fresh gratitude. Therapy solo now, virtual with a queer counselor in Cleveland. Unpacked the betrayal. He saw your illness as threat to his empire. You, as empire's cost. Rage vented. Tears cathartic. Forgive, she probed. For you, not him. Forgave in fragments, journal entries. Bonfire burns. Wrote Jack once. Sent. Remission's fragile, but I'm not. Wishing you light. Paul no reply. Fine. Closure mine. Thanksgiving at Nate's folks. Farmhouse chaos. Turkey dry. Love thick. His dad, grizzled vet, pulled me aside. Son speaks high of you. Keep him honest. Blushed. Nodded. Nate's hand under the table. Steady. Winter gripped. Therapy zapped energy. But Nate buffered. Soups simmered. Blankets piled. Lean, he'd say. Arms fortress. Sex shifted tender. Slow grinds. Breath synced. His fingers in my hair stubble. Love this you, murmured. Love. First utterance. Post-climax glow. Froze. Then you too. Unspoken pact. Spring 2026. Clean scans. Confetti pop from mom. Road trip south. Asheville. Artsy haven. Galleries. Hikes. Hot spring soak where we floated. Bodies buoyant. Future? He asked. Water lapping. More of this. You and me. Building. Building. Echoed Jack's old vow. But rooted now. Not rocket-fueled. Back north. Proposed collaboration. My illustrations. His ceramics. Joint show at a Columbus Queer Arts Fest. Prep frenzy. Late nights. Clay dust on sketches. Laughter echoing. Then, fracture. June email from Theo Jackson Town pitching in Akron. Heard about your thing. Asking around. Ignore? Couldn't. Fest opening. Warehouse thrum. Our pieces intertwined. Pots etched with my lines. Stories in clay and ink. Crowd swelled. Nate's arm proud around me. Jack appeared, ghost in chinos. Eyes shadowed. Paul. Soft. This. Wow. Nate tensed beside me. Friend. Whispered. X. Met Jack's gaze. What brings you? Business. But heard. Had to see. Scanned the wall, our story. Abstracted. Love's loom. Threads frayed and rewoven. It's beautiful. You. Thanks. Neutral. Nate's hand squeezed. Anchor. Jack shifted. Can we talk? Alone? Glanced at Nate, nod subtle. 2 minutes. Outside. Twilight purple. I'm proud, Jack started. Really? And sorry again. Seeing you thrive? It's what you deserved. Got it. Wind rustled. I'm happy, Jack. With someone real. Hurt flashed, then nod. Good. He looked solid. Paused. I miss us. The good parts. Missed them too. But we're done chapters. Extended hand, closure grip. Take care. He held a beat long. You too. Paul walked into dusk. Silhouette fading. Back inside. Nate pulled me close. Okay. Better than. Kissed him fierce. Crowd blurring. Our night hours. Climax crested that summer. Show sold out. Reviews raving tender triumph. But conflict brewed internal. Scan blip returned. Therapy intensifying. Nate held vigil. Whatever. We're unbreakable. Betrayal scar? Faint now. Lesson etched. Love isn't possession, but partnership. Deep emotions swelled. Nights raw. Confessing fears. What if it takes me? Whispered once. Chemo fog. Nate's reply. It won't. And if? I'll carry your light. Tears mingled. Bonds solder. Autumn wove gold through the valleys. But my world tilted gray again. The blip metastasized, stage for whisper. Doc's scrambling protocols. Aggressive. But we've got options, Dr. Singh said. Charts splayed like battle maps. Nate absorbed it in the consult room. Face carved stone. Drive home. Radio off. His hand on my knee. Tell me what you need. You, simple. Just you. He gave endlessly. Mornings. Green smoothies blended while I retched. Evenings. Audiobooks read in his baritone. Voices for characters I'd illustrate tomorrow. Friends rallied. Elena's care packages. Scarves knit crooked. Marcus's pep talks. Booming over speaker. Mom daily. Dad's quiet fixes. Ramp for bad days. Toolbox therapy. Jack's shadow lengthened. Theo forwarded a LinkedIn ping. Congrats on the show. Coffee if you're up? JR deleted. But curiosity gnawed. Nate noticed. The X. Over dinner, pasta twirled slow. Yeah. Reaching out. Shrugged. Old noise. Want me to block? Offered gentle. No jealousy. Nah. I'll handle. Replied neutral, thanks. Busy with treatment. Best. Sent. Door shut. Winter clamped, early snows. Immunity tanked. Holidays hushed. Nate's family tree trimming. Light strung. His niece gifting a clay ornament. Us as knights. Swords clay slick. For the fighters, she lisped. Broke me open. Sobs in the bathroom. Nate holding wordless. I love you. First full. Post tears. Love you back. Echoed. Fierce. New Year dawned brittle. Trial drug infused. Side effects savage. Numb fingers. Sketches smudged. Nate adapted voice memos for ideas. His hands guiding mine on paper. Team effort. Sex paused. Intimacy shifted, baths drawn. Bodies spooned under quilts. Whispers weaving futures. Travel post this, he dreamed. Portland craft beer. Your book's signing. Smiled. Clung. Spring teased thaw. But storm broke April. Infection spiked. Hospital haze. IVs beeping. Nate vigil, sleeping in vinyl chair. Hand laced mine. Not leaving, vowed. Delirium dreams. Jack's face morphing Nate's. Betrayal to bomb. Woke sweating. Sorry. For what? His eyes. Tired but clear. Failing you. Bull. Kiss to knuckles. You're winning. Discharge mid-May. fragile victory. Rehab slow, walks in the yard. Nate's arm steady. Art resumed. Final panels for shadows. Epilogue inked. Hero rising. Alone but whole. Lover's hand extended. Not grasping. Offering. Nate read draft. This is us. Raw beauty. Exhibit return. Columbus. Bigger now. Opening night. Gallery pulsed. Queers in finery. Our hybrid work star. Nate suited handsome. Tie my design swallows in flight. Toasts flowed. I spoke. Voice steady. This is for the loves that scar and the ones that save. To human hearts. Messy and mighty. Crowd roared. Afterward. Ally kiss Nate's lips salt sweet. Proud. Murmured. Always. Then. Twist. Jack in the throng. Solo. Leaner. Eyes haunted. Approach post-speech. Paul. Incredible. Genuine awe. Thanks. Nate at my side. Polite nod. Jack to him. You must be Nate. Lucky man. No edge. Just fact. Damn right. Grin easy. To me, heard about the setback. Glad you're through. Teamwork. Gestured Nate. Real kind. Jack nodded. Swallow hard. I get it now. After you, I crashed. App sold. But empty. Therapy peeled it. Fear of vulnerability. You were brave. I was boy. Past. I said. Softened. Glad you're working it. Me too. Paused. One ask. Forgive? Not for me. For you. Already had. Done. Handshake. Final. He left. Nate pulled me dancing. Slow sway to indie folk. Bodies sink. Love you. Breathed into his neck. Forever. Back. Summer solstice. Full remission. Bells rung at the clinic. Beach trip. Eerie shores. Sand gritty. Waves lapping toes. Bonfire crackle. Marshmallows toasting. Nate on one knee. Ring simple clay band. Etched swallow. Marry me. Paul. Build the rest together. Tears blurred stars. Yes. God. Yes. Engaged glow carried. Wedding plans sketched. Small. Queer. Ohio orchard. Vows handwritten. Mom teary fittings. Dad's toast prep. To loves that endure. But humanism's core. Not flawless. Flares came, checkups tense. Doubts whisper. Nate's job stress, studio expansion. Late nights. Arguments flared. You push too hard. I snap. Fatigue frayed. And you shut down. Retorts hot. Makeup's deeper, apologies in clay kisses. Sketches of amends. One night. Storm raging. I confessed. Scared it'll come back. Take this. Nate held. Thunder rumbling. It might. But we fight. Not alone. Truth bear. Life's no fairy tale. But tapestry threads joy. Grief. Woven strong. Fall wedding. Orchard ablaze crimson. 100 souls. Group mates. Artists. Family fused. Vows under arch-twined vines. I choose you. In sickness. In spark. To color our chaos. Rings exchanged. Cheers erupted. First dance. Defying gravity. Lifted in his arms. Weightless. Honeymoon cabin Adirondacks. Hikes gentle. Loons calling dusk. Nights tangled. Love rediscovered, slow. Sacred. Our empire. Nate whispered. Dawn light gilding skin. Years blurred. Shadow series hit bestseller. Nate's pottery in MoMA shop. Kid talk surfaced. Fostering. Maybe. A scrappy queer teen needing home. Jack? Distant orbit. Holiday cards. His wedding to a therapist. Nice guy. No bitterness. Paths diverged. Lessons lingered. Cancer's shadow? Fades but lingers. Annual scans ritual. Fear's old friend. But with Nate, the shared vigil. Not solo siege. Betrayal's gift. Discernment. I know love now, not perfect life preserver, but flawed, fierce companion. Brooklyn echoes faint, but New York's in me. Grit, glow. Here, in Rust Belt roots renewed, I thrive. Human, holy, scarred, soaring, loved. 3 years shattered, countless rebuilt. And in the mending, grace.